Hey, welcome back to Right on the Money, providing you and your family the necessary information you need to make informed financial decisions. Now, in case you're just joining us, and if you are, gosh, go back on our website, on our YouTube channel. You want to see all the segments that have led up to this segment. But our guest today, friend of the show, Mark Fricks, founder of Master Plan Retirement Consultants located in Marietta, Georgia. And we've been talking with Mark about the way retirement planning has changed. We showed a traditional financial triangle, two-dimensional, and the way it looks like that old chart from healthy eating, like that, a well-balanced diet. But the world has changed, and the world has changed on retirement planning to where you need to have a retirement planning pyramid. It is a three-dimensional being. And so we've talked our way through assets and investments. We've talked income, we've talked taxes, but now we need to talk about the next generation. And as a new grandfather, I am ridiculously proud of that. This is a topic now that you thought about it a little bit, but now it really comes home. So Mark, tell us how you work with clients on legacy, on that side of the planning.
Yeah, so again, another critical part of retirement planning is what happens when you're gone. But it starts with what happens when you're still here, but you're incapacitated. So that's kind of level one, is making sure you maintain control of your stuff if you can't, right? And so that's kind of the beginning of it. We ask people when they come in to see us, we'll say, how important is it to leave a legacy? And most people are like, the missus and I, or my husband and I, we want to make sure we're taken care of. But yeah, it would be nice to leave some stuff. And so what I tell them is this, I say there's 4 places you can leave your money. You can leave it to kids, grandkids, relatives. You can leave it to organizations and charities. You can leave it to attorneys, and you can leave it to the IRS. My clients prefer the first 2. Not sure about everybody else listening, but we prefer so that's kind of our aim, is maintain control and make sure that as it's passed along, first to the spouse, right? They want to make sure they're taken care of. And then down the line, wherever that may be, making sure that we avoid probate costs as much as possible, attorney involvement as much as possible, and minimize taxes, whether it be federal taxes or the newly talked about death tax, which has always been around, but has not been a problem lately because of the high levels, but it's being changed as we speak. So that's now, forefront to be considered as well.
Let me ask you, probate is a word that I think that a lot of people outside our industry are familiar with. They've probably heard it, but could you, in a nutshell, just what are we wanting to avoid there, or why is it a bad thing?
Yeah, so probate, a couple of things. Number one is it can be costly. Attorneys that run probate charge 2 to 5% of the value of your estate, not of what they're probating, the value of your estate. We call probate the attorney 401k, because that's where they really make their money on the back end, right? It's also not a private situation. In other words, you have to take the will down to the courthouse. It becomes public record. You have to advertise, hey, so-and-so's gone, come get it, type of stuff. In many states, the county will actually mail a letter to every relative. I don't care if it's a second cousin twice removed, letting them know, hey, John's gone. Do you have any claims? Do you that type of thing. So that's the biggest problem I have, is the publicity, the public awareness of it, the fact that my stuff's out there for everybody to see. What's
interesting is it used to be, back since we were talking before the turn of the century, now after, it used to be that you could go down, open records, go to a county courthouse, and you could look through probate court records. And now with the internet and a lot of things online and access to it, boy, that publicity angle really, people are really going to know your business. So how do you avoid it? Is there ways to avoid it?
Well, the most popular way to avoid it is to use what they call a living trust or a revocable living trust. And that basically, what goes through probate, Dennis, is anything in your name. So if it's in your name, it goes through probate. If it's held jointly, it does not. It goes to the other person and then goes through probate. But so if you put everything in the name of your trust, it doesn't go through probate. So it's kind of a simple way of avoiding probate. There are other positives with a trust. I'm not recommending everybody out there go get a trust, but I am saying it is a powerful tool if properly set up and properly funded. That's usually the biggest problem, is they don't get funded properly.
And I think I think I'm going to put the asterisks out there for you. You're, of course, not an attorney, so we're not giving legal advice, which is great. But so the probate, the legacy, what kind of things do you help people with when they do want to set things up, maybe for charities or their grandkids? What kind of things are available?
Well, so part of our planning process is estate planning, legacy planning. So we actually guide them through that process. We start off with doing what typically attorneys do. I don't think they do a very good job of it. That's gathering information. We have a workbook that's 12 pages long. So we want to know all the different circumstances, all the different concerns. And then we take that and we educate the client and we give them some tips and things like that. And then we actually have attorneys that are part of our team that will come in, create those documents, do the document signing. Then we help them retitle things, change beneficiaries to make sure they all match up. So it's always a part of our process. It's just so critical. It's just so critical. We had somebody come in a few months ago. She had been a client for 3 or 4 years. Her husband had not. They had not been married very long. Their stuff was separate. And so he finally started talking to us some, and I was already pushing her to get that he needed a will. And then I was pushing him. He passed away about 2 months ago. No will. He was in his early 50s. So we're having to go through a lot of stuff, that's called dying intestate without a will. And so now the state has a say in where your stuff goes. And so she's having to fight some stuff. There's an ex-wife involved, so a lot of complications. So even if you don't come see somebody like us, at least go get a will and your powers of attorney and things like that. We don't think it's going to happen to us, but we've seen with COVID and the world we live in, you just don't know. So make sure you're prepared.
Well, let's talk about preparation here, and I think this is a great point or a great spot for me to say that, or to ask you the question. I'm convinced, Mark, this retirement pyramid, this all needs to be addressed. I'm in Georgia, or actually I know that you work in across the whole U.S., if I'm not mistaken now. How do I get in touch with you? Well,
I know some information will be here on the screen, but I tell you the easiest way, I think, is to visit the website. First, you can find out more about us. But actually, right on the first screen, there's a little button that says, make me an appointment. You push that button and my calendar comes up and you get to choose from whatever's available. And so that's the easiest way. Visit masterplanretire.com. You're always welcome to call us. I think our phone number is on the screen as well. We have a YouTube channel. We have our own studio here on premises where we cut YouTube videos, educationally based. If you visit the website, go to the section that says workshops, and you can sign up for a workshop. You can learn about taxes. You can learn about some of the stuff we've talked about today. We specialize in federal workers as well. So if you're a federal employee, we know your stuff as well. So that's a great way, the website, masterplanretire.com, to find out more, sign up for a workshop, schedule an appointment.
Well, Mark, I have to tell you, thank you for our conversation today. It is always a pleasure to see you. I love talking to you. So folks, if you're out there, you can follow that instruction. You can go out, you can visit Mark and communicate with him a variety of ways without having to travel to Georgia, unless you want to travel down to Georgia. So with that being said, though, that's our time for today. So don't forget, you can watch full Right on the Money Show episodes on our official YouTube channel or at rightonthemoneyshow.com. That's a spot that you can get up-to-date financial news and insights from the top insurance and financial professionals in your area. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.